Okay, this is making a grocery list activity for teachers, our parents, or whoever wants to use it. Okay, for the setup, you're gonna have to, depending on what grade they are in, you're gonna have to prep them with a few food names. If they're younger kids, maybe just four. Start with four foods, then you can add to it. After that, if they're older, up to high school, uh, see where they're at. See, maybe have them make a list beforehand to see how many food or drink names that they know in Lakota. Okay, and then you're gonna have to use props. You're gonna have to. It's better to use props if you don't have props. Make a PowerPoint of something, but the more realistic you can make this, the better. And if you're doing this at home with your kids, these are good opportunities to maybe get like a cardboard box and set it up, make a little mini fridge out of it, put some shelves in there, have them help with all that. Get some food props you can get at any kind of toy store or something, or a secondhand store. I usually look at garage sales and stuff. And get as many food items as you can. I mean, you have to make it as realistic as you can, as authentic as you can. That's the best way to introduce some of these activities. So in your classroom, you can, like I said, either use physical props, little food props or whatever, or and your foods too, or you make a PowerPoint. Okay, for the maybe lesson plans element of this, we have some essential questions, and these are just suggestions. You don't have to use these. You can kind of tweak them however you want. We have some learning objectives, critical thinking, vocabulary building, listening, and speaking. So if it helps you kind of adapt it to any kind of standards, then if these ones work, go ahead and use them. If not, go ahead and tweak it to however you want to make it fit to whatever your lesson plans or goals or objectives are. So for the props, like I said, you can make a little refrigerator even out of a cardboard box, something that you can use in the classroom. Some of the like I know the high school here anyway, one of them has a fridge in the classroom. Perfect way to introduce this activity. If not, have the kids make their own. Have them bring in, even if it's just a little shoebox, something they can make a little fridge out of. So you'll get some arts and crafts activity out of it. Or, like I said, if you are more along the lines of technology, then if you want to make a PowerPoint and cut and paste foods into it, you can do that with this activity if that works better for you. But you want to try to make it, like I said, as authentic as possible. Okay, so for this first activity, like I said, we're just going to start with four basic food items, and these are all going to be dairy items. So you're going to introduce these words. If you're using a prop, hold it up, have the students repeat after you. Asampi suta. Asampi suta. Cheese. Wheatka. Wheatka. Eggs. Asampi wiggly. Asampi wiggly. Butter. Asampi, milk. Asampi. Okay, after you introduce your four food items, and then quiz them again. You have to keep reinforcing it until they get it. And so hold up a milk carton or put up a PowerPoint picture of a milk carton. Have them all holler out what it is. Asampi wiggly. Asampi suta. Wheatka. and just go over them again and again until they get those down. Okay, to prep you as the teacher, and you can go over the meaning of these depending on the ages of the students. But it's not necessary at first. You just want to get them using it and repeating you. So the words that we're going to use this first one, yuka. Yuka means like there's a lot of different meanings to it, but in this context of we're asking, is there something? Is there something on hand? Is it available? Do we have some? So we're going to be using yuka. Yuka is in the question form. So when we're asking it, that'll be the word that we use. It'll change to yuke. Yuke in the response. Responding, yes, we have some, or no, we don't have some. The other one I'll just throw in there is onyuhapi. Onyuhapi. And onyuhapi just kind of more casual, and it means we have. All right, in fast speech, if you want to change that PI to a B, depending on the age of the students, the younger ones, you want to have them learn that PI ending. But up in the middle grades, high school maybe, college, if they want to start getting used to fast speech, they can change that PI to a B. Onyuhab. Okay, so here is the activity. So you're going to place some items into the refrigerator. So if you're doing this in the classroom with a big cardboard box that you made into a fridge, you have your props inside of it. Make sure all the students can see. If you want to have them circle up or something, that's even better. And you are going to ask the question, and we're going to start with milk, right? So we're going to ask asampi yukan. And then he is the female question ending. Huo is the male question ending. But everyday, casual, informal, men are going to use he. All right, so we're just going to use he in these activities. Asampi yukan he. Is there milk? Is there any milk? Okay. Or if you want to be less, or not less formal, but just another casual way to kind of say it. Asampi onyuhapi he. Asampi onyuhapi he. Do we have milk? If you want to fast speech that, asampi onyuhapi. Okay. So we're going to look. There is milk. And so they are going to respond, huh? Asampi yukhe. Yes, there is milk. Huh. Remember, huh is yes. Huh. Asampi yukhe. If there is no milk, hiya is no. Asampi yukheshni. Hiya asampi yukheshni. Remember, shni makes it negative. Yukhe, there is some. Yukheshni, there is not any. Or if you want to stick with unyuhapi, they could say, huh, asampi unyuhapi. Yes, we have milk. Or hiya, asampi unyuhapi shni. No, we do not have milk. Okay, so that's kind of the activity that we're going to be doing as we go along here, this first one. Okay, so once they kind of understand that, you're going to turn your little fridge around, or if you're doing this on PowerPoint, you're going to put up a different slide. Ash, you're going to take one of those items out. So in this case, I took the witka out. I took the eggs out. So now, as they're looking at that fridge, they're seeing 3 different items in there. So you're going to start naming off, because we're only using 4. You're going to start naming off all the items, and they're looking, and they're going to say either yes or no. Okay, so if you wanted to start with something that is there, and you say, asampi suta yukan hai. Do we have cheese? Asampi suta yukan hai. All right, they're looking and they're going to see that cheese, so they're going to say, asampi suta yuke. Yes, there is cheese. If you're using the other one, asampi suta unyuhapi. Yes, we have cheese. Okay, so you'll do that for everything, butter, milk, until you get to the item you took out, because they can't see that. So you're going to say, witka yukahe. Is there any eggs? And so they're looking, and they're going to say, hia witka yukheshni. Nope, there's no eggs. Or they say, hia witka unyuhapishni. No, we do not have eggs. Hia witka unyuhapishni. We do not have eggs. Okay, you're going to flip the fridge around. You're going to take out a different item. So in this one, I took out the cheese. And so now you're just going to go start asking your questions again about each one. Is there butter? Asampi wiggly yukahe. Asampi wiggly yukahe. They're going to be looking. They're going to say, asampi wiggly yuke. All right? Or the other way, asampi wiggly unyuhapi. Yes, we have butter. Go down the next one, milk. Asampi yukahe. Asampi yuke. Or asampi unyuhap. All right, until you get to cheese. Then it'll be asampi suta yukahe. Do we have cheese? Is there cheese? Hia asampi suta yukheshni. Or hia asampi suta unyuhapishni. Okay, this one I removed the milk. So my question to the class or to your kids or however you're doing this, if you're doing this with your partner, asampi yukahe. Is there any milk? So you're looking at that fridge. Hia asampi yukheshni. Or hia asampi unyuhapshni. No, we don't have milk. Okay, so now you're going to have the students have their own fridge, and you're going to tell them choose 2 of those items that are in their fridge. And so this is just an example. So in this case, I chose cheese and milk out of those 4. Asampi, na asampi suta. So I don't have asampi wiggly, butter, and I don't have witka, eggs. All right, so I'm going to ask that student, so all the students will maybe have something different in there, but they can only have 2 things in their fridge. So we're just using the same question. So I'm just going to call on a student and I'll say, asampi yukahe. And they're going to look in their fridge and they're going to say, asampi yuke. Or, asampi unyuhap. I'm going to say, and then I can't see their fridge, and so that's why you have to rely on them to tell you what they have. So asampi wiggly yukahe. Is there any butter? And they're going to look and they say, hia asampi wiggly yukheshni. Or hia asampi wiggly unyuhapshni. Okay, so that's kind of that activity for that. Just starting out, just use 4 things. Don't overload them, depending on what they know. So this is actually a really good activity to do with your kids at home or your grandkids. If you make a grocery list, maybe you make it once a week, twice a week, twice a month, once a month, whatever. So sit down with a piece of paper and have your kids or your grandkids look in the fridge for you. And you're going to do the same kind of questions. You're going to ask them, asampi yukahe, is there milk? And they're going to look, hia asampi yukheshni. or asampi yuke. Or if you want to use unyuhapi, you say asampi unyuhapi he. Do we have milk? Okay, asampi unyuhapi. Naish. Hia asampi unyuhapshne. No, we don't have milk. Okay, and go through everything in the fridge, whatever your list is. If you want to look in there first, make a list of everything, but then you get their little brains clicking like that, so they can look at stuff, remember the names of foods or drinks. Maybe you guys might have you might eat differently, and so if whatever foods that you eat at home, I would learn those first because those are the names you're using all the time. If you're not a yogurt eater, then don't worry about how to say yogurt, um, or oatmeal or different things like that. If you don't eat those things, just figure out the words that you eat. All right. Okay, the second activity is we're going to find out what items were purchased earlier today. Things that were in the fridge that we bought earlier today. So for the teacher lesson plan part of this, here's the goal. To develop students' ability to ask and answer questions in Lakota about past actions using specific vocabulary and sentence structure. Here's some learning objectives that's going to go along with this activity. So, like I said, if it works for you and you can use it to meet certain standards, then go ahead. If not, go ahead and tweak whatever you have to make it fit. Okay, the setup for this next activity, and you can explain it to them, but you're going to have them make a list of some foods, and I'm going to show you a big list of foods here in a minute. They're going to write down the names of all the foods, and they're going to select 6 things that they bought earlier in the day. And then the teacher or the parent, or you're going to go down that list and you're going to ask them which foods that they bought. Okay, so now we're going to be increasing our food vocabulary. So, like I said, you're going to have to go over these like either in flashcards, PowerPoint, props, holding them up. You can bring all these props with you. You might have this stuff in your house. Have them repeat after you. Say all these words. Okay, so achuyapi tachach. So achuyapi tachach, that's like the literal way to say a loaf of bread. But to just shorten it, we could just say achuyapi, bread. Tomato, unjijintka. Lettuce, mashtinchela tchawote. Carrot, panrizizi. Onions, pshin. Rice, psin. Okay, I put those 2 in there because the spelling is almost exactly the same. The S's are different. One is an SH sound. Onion is a SH sound. So pshin and rice is psin. Corn, wagamiza. Pickles, kunkula. Watermelon, wagmushpashni. Oranges, transpanzi. Apples, transpan. Raisins, itrunkala ishta. Mouse eyes. And pumpkin, wagmu. I'm just using wagmu. Wagmu can be all kinds of stuff. It can be squash. It can be all that stuff. It's just a generic word for those kind of things. So I'm just using wagmu. You can use other words for pumpkin and stuff, but I'm just using that. Okay, so go over those words with your students or your children, however you're doing it. And you don't really want to move on with the activities until they get a lot of these words down. And flashcards are a good way to do that. Put the pictures on them and stuff. Okay, so let's add to our foods. You remember, if they're little kids, don't overload them. Give them 4 or 5. Then once they have those down, you can add to them. So once they get up to high school or college, they should be able to have all of these and lots more. But just try not to overload as you're learning. So flour, achuyapi blue, sugar chahampi, pepper yamnumnu chapi, salt miniskuya, potatoes below, tomato juice onjijint kahampi, tea wachpe, syrup chahampi tikticha, peanut butter yachuchapi wasna, and jelly washtagyapi. Okay, so go over those. If you have to do them on a PowerPoint to reinforce them, do that, or bring them from home, or if you're at home, hold them up, have them repeat the words until they get them, until they're all memorized. Because like I said, you can't really do this activity effectively until they know these foods. Okay, so here's an example of a list. And so obviously I'm not using the whole food list, but this is a list of foods here on the left. And I put a red X on the ones that I already have. And then you can see there's ones that are blank. Chahampi, Onjijintka, Transpansi. And so those are the foods that the student bought earlier in the day. So earlier in the day, the ones that don't have any mark next to them is sugar, tomatoes, oranges, rice, raisins, and a loaf of bread, or we can just say bread. Okay, so there is the list on the left-hand side. We have the items with a green plus sign beside them. Those are the ones we bought earlier in the day. Okay, so but as the teacher or the parent, you don't know which ones that they bought earlier in the day. So the way that you're going to ask them, I'm giving you 2 different options. So you can start it with ampeha, which means earlier today, or some speakers might say ampetuha. So either one, ampeha or ampetuha. And then you're going to just go down the list. So you're going to have the same food items on your paper. So you're going to, for the first one, so for achuyapi blue, you remember that is flour. So you're going to call upon a student or your child or your partner, whoever you're doing this with. You're going to say ampeha, earlier today, achuyapi blue opchea tohe. Did you buy flour earlier today? Okay. If you want to use ampetuha, you can use that too. Ampetuha achuyapi blue opchea tohe. They both mean the same thing. Earlier today or today. So that is the first way to do it. Now they're going to reply. They're going to look at their list. So you can see that they put a red X there. So they didn't buy flour today. So you have to listen to their reply. So they're not going to say ha. They're going to say hia. Hia ampeha achuyapi blue opchewa tchonshne. No, I didn't buy flour today. Hia ampeha achuyapi blue opchewa tchonshne. No, I did not buy flour today. A kind of more casual way, I guess, if you want to use it, if we go down to the bottom here, and we'll just answer using the flour one. So it's going to be hia, ampeha, or ampetuha, either one, achuyapi blue iwachushne. So instead of using by, we're using got. So iwachushne. I didn't get flour today. Okay, it's just a more kind of informal, casual way. And so it's good to, to kind of learn the verb to buy something. And then we're also kind of, if you want to switch it up and then use kind of a more informal, kind of casual talk, you can do that. Did you get some flour today? No, I didn't get any flour today. Okay, so then we'll go down the list. Chahampi. So your question now is, Ampeha chahampi opcheato he. And then so they're going to look at their list and they're going to say, Ampeha chahampi opchewatchu. Yes, I bought flour today. Or if we go down to the bottom, if you're using this one, Ampeha chahampi iwachu. Yes, I got flour today. Okay, so that's, you're just going to work down the list, and then that's how it's going to be for every item like that until you reach the sixth one, and then you know that the sixth item, the last item that they bought for that day. Okay, so just a fun exercise and just constant practice, and you can use either one of those, opcheatron, or iwachu, or iachuhe. So did you get, if you want to use that question, did you get, we go back to that first one, some flour. So your question would be, ampeha or ampetuha, either one. Ahuya blue iachuhe. Did you get flour today? So if you're using that, then you can use iwachu or iwachushne in the responses. And if, once they're really good at both ways, mix it up, because they both kind of mean the same thing in this context. So you could ask them, Ampeha chahampi opcheta. Did you buy sugar today? And then here, Ampeha chahampi iwachushne. No, I didn't get any. I didn't get any sugar. So it's basically the same thing in this context. So you're kind of learning a couple different verbs on how to use them. Okay, so now we're going to move on to the third activity, and this is going to be in the third person. So for the business part of it, for the lesson plans, planning, that part of it, here is some essential questions if it links up to your lesson plan standards, however you want to do it. Here's your goal, learning objectives, and so you can pause it on this and match up anything that fits. Like I said, if not, then tweak whatever it is you have to. Okay, so same kind of setup. That list that we made. As you're doing it, you want all the other students, or if you're doing this with your sons or daughters, your grandchildren or spouses or family members, everybody has to pay attention to what was bought that day. Okay, so if you are facilitating this, if you're the teacher, you're the one that's asking the questions. If you want to switch it and have them take turns, once they're all kind of comfortable with it, have them take turns asking each other, then that's fine too. But everybody has to pay attention to what is being asked and how that person is replying to it. So let's say that this is Joe's list. Okay, so he didn't buy flour, but he bought sugar. He didn't buy pepper. He bought tomatoes. He didn't buy peanut butter. He didn't buy lettuce. He bought oranges. He didn't buy apples. He bought rice. He bought raisins. He didn't buy corn. And he bought bread. Okay, so that was Joe's reply. So I listened to that. So I'm putting a check by everything Joe bought. And so the teacher or the facilitator is going to ask me, or they can ask it as a class, Ampeha, earlier today, or ampetuha, today, Joe, and then we're going down the list. Ahuyapi blue objeto he. Did Joe buy flour today? So we're all paid attention. We saw Joe didn't buy flour. That's first on the list. And so we're going to say, Hia, Joe, ampeha, ahuyapi blue objeto shne. Okay, so now we switched all of our verbs. There's no conjugation, so they're all third person. It's not objewaton, it's not objeaton, it's just objeto. Okay, or if we want to answer the other way, here, yo ampeha ahuyapi blue ichushne. Nope, Joe didn't get any flour today. Okay, and you're just going to work down. So chahampi, you can see that Joe did get chahampi. So ampeha, Joe chahampi objeto hai. And then your answer would be, Joe ampeha chahampi objeto. Or if you want to ask it the other way, ampeha Joe chahampi ichu hai. And then since he did, you're going to reply, Joe ampeha chahampi ichu. Okay? So, it's like I said, just take your time with it. If you can do 3 or 4 foods starting out and then start adding to it and just build on top of that stuff. But a good little activity, and you can flip it out with different verbs. So have some fun with that. And like I said, try to make it as realistic as possible.